Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to a brand new episode of the weekly playlist. It's Friday, so that means it's time for me to share with you guys the games I have been playing this week. I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions on these titles. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts, your opinions on these games, whether you played them before, what you liked about them, what you didn't like about them. I just like getting good discussions going on, and I have been enjoying interacting with you guys here on my weekly playlist videos. Had some great interaction with you guys, and I really appreciate it. I also want to hear what games you guys have been playing because you guys give me ideas of games I want to play. You guys have been describing games I've never heard of before or games I haven't ever played yet, and it's given me ideas on new games that I want to try out here eventually. So I do have a nice list going of games to play. Some of them I already own, some I don't. So I do have a list on my website of games for me to buy in the future to check out from you guys' playlists. And then also, if you guys have any recommendations on games you think I should play, let me know. Because you guys have also been recommending some really good games that I'm also adding to my list of games to check out. So, as always, we'll get started here. I've actually only got two games to share with you guys this week because these two games have been eating up a lot of my time. First one here we're going to talk about is for Game Boy Advance, and that is Donkey Kong Country, which this is a remake and port of the Super Nintendo version that they re-released years later. What time does it actually have? The 2003. So yeah, so 2003. So about 10 years after the game came out, they released it and ported it to the Game Boy Advance. Now, first off, I'll let people know that the graphics are not as good as the Super Nintendo versions are. That's like a given right after the beginning, only because you're on a handheld console. And it's also not a Super Nintendo, and it's not built in the Super Nintendo architecture. But don't let that detract you from me. That it is still a great game. The graphics still look pretty decent. And the other thing too that I think some people give an unfair bias against this game is, remember, this was designed for a Game Boy Advance, which has a little tiny screen, so it was not intended for a big screen TV playing the game. So that's why they had to design the game for the limitations of the Game Boy Advance. However, it still does not detract from the game at all, and they actually have added new content to this game, which is great, especially if you've been a fan of the original one like I am. I beat that one on Super Nintendo so many times. And then last couple years, my buddy Grant and I actually beat the Super Famicom version, which they call it Super Donkey Kong there. It's actually a little harder than the American version, so I've beaten that. But I never got around to playing and beating the GBA version more than a couple minutes checking it out and then never played it again. So the last 2 weeks, I decided I want to run through and beat this game. And so far, I've been having a blast with it. There's some great new changes to this. Like, one of the big things I like is the new save feature. All you have to do is hit the start menu, and you can bring up and you can save at any time that you want, anywhere in the game. Now, if you guys played the original version on Super Nintendo, you'll remember that you had to get to Candy Kong in order to save. And sometimes she was at the beginning of a world, sometimes she was at the end of a world. And so that would really frustrate you. You're going through some really difficult levels and you're just hoping to get to the save point. You fail, you have to reset and start that whole world over and go through all those levels again. That was frustrating. So I like that you could save it at any time. The other nice thing is, maybe you're in the middle of playing the game and oh hey, I gotta stop, I gotta make dinner, or I gotta go to work, or I gotta go somewhere. The wife wants you to go somewhere. So I like that ability that I can just pause it, save it anytime I want to, and not just have to leave it sit on like we did back in the day as kids. When you couldn't save games, you would just leave the Nintendo powered on. You would turn off the TV and then come back to it later on, and hope that nobody messed with the TV or messed with the game or anything. So that's a nice feature that I like is you can save it anytime you want. Another thing I really like is that they have added content to this game. So there's actually new collectibles. There's these little camera icons you can collect throughout the worlds. And those actually are little pictures of enemies or Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong around the world. And there's, I think, like, I don't know. I have to look. I have the strategy guide. I'll share it with you guys. But there's a bunch of those to collect on top of the regular bonus barrels and stuff. Another nice thing I like is they actually redesigned the bonus barrels to actually have a B on them, like they did in Donkey Kong uh, Country 2 and 3. So it's kind of, they went back when they were re-releasing these and made it so that it's streamlined with the other games in the series. So I did like that as well. The music in this is awesome. There's also some original music that wasn't in the original versions added to this game. And all of the music from the Super Nintendo version does play well in the Game Boy Advance. Now, it does have its own like Game Boy Advance feel. So if you guys have played any of the other ports, like the Super Mario Brothers, any other game that was on Super Nintendo ported to the GBA, it has that feel like the GBA version. It's different. It's still the same, but it is unique on its own. and it is a great game. Now I've made it all the way to the snow world, and man, I forgot how difficult Donkey Kong Country 1 is, especially as you get further along in the worlds. It gets difficult, and so I've been getting through some difficult levels, and thank God for that save feature. I like having that save feature that I can just save it anytime I want to. And if I lose all my lives, I can just reset and start over with my save file, which is I like. I was like, oh, it's cheating, Hey, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do with some of these difficult games. Another thing too is I actually been playing this on my Game Boy Advance player on my GameCube. I wanted to try it. I told you guys I've been playing on my Game Boy Advance, but I wanted to play it on my big TV with the Game Boy player and my GameCube controller, and it does control well. However, like other people have mentioned, the colors do get washed out, and so they do look kind of like washed out white color, like a film to the game, and that's only because it's the Game Boy Advance player and because you're stretching a little GBA screen onto a big TV. I'm also playing on a HD TV and not a CRT. The GameCube wasn't meant for the HD TVs. But for me, I'm not a big guy. Like, I don't have to have the best graphics. As long as I can play the game and have fun with it, that's all that matters to me. I don't care an 8-bit game. I don't have to have 4K game. I mean, they're nice looking and all, but that doesn't detract me at all from enjoying a game or experiencing it. Because I grew up with black and white TVs and fuzzy TVs and that kind of stuff. We just were happy we had what we had. And sometimes I feel that people get too spoiled these days with the 4K and just don't appreciate what they have in life. I appreciate everything I have. I have a roof over my head, food on the table, and I have games to play. Some people don't have this stuff. So, I'm never going to be one that's going to go, oh, it's not the best looking game in the world. I can't play that. That's not how I am, Enjoy what you have, and I definitely enjoy this. Just having a blast with this game. Really cool. And great thing is I actually have the strategy guide for this game, which I forgot I bought a few months ago this year. And so I've actually been using it to help me with this game because this has all the new stuff for the GBA version. It's still compatible with the Super Nintendo one. However, the extra stuff that's in this wouldn't be in that version, but this is specifically made for the GBA. And when I bought this, I didn't even realize it was the GBA one. I just thought, oh, hey, it's Donkey Kong Country. It's cool. My buddy and I would like to go back through and 101% the game. And I already have the regular strategy guide, but I don't know where the hell it is because it's in storage somewhere. So I'll just buy this one at the game store. And then I saw it's the Game Boy Advance version. I'm like, sweet, this will come handy. And so I've been using this. So this has complete walkthroughs for all 34 levels, including every hidden area and bonus room, bios, and moves for both characters, which is cool. All 52 camera pieces, so that's added to the 52 cameras. Killer boss strategies and enemy battle tips, which that's another thing too, guys. They have updated the boss battles. Example, like when you fight the bee, instead of the bee just running around up and down and you hit it like 5 times and the bee dies, she actually has a new attack pattern where she actually has like new little bees that come with her that do stuff. So every boss has been reworked and added some new things to make it more challenging, which I enjoyed it and I felt satisfied when I beat those bosses. So that's another great thing. They updated the boss battles for the game and made them better because they were kind of bland and basic in the original Super Nintendo version. So that was a great addition. Complete tactics for normal mode. They also have a DK attack mode and hero modes, which I know hero mode's even harder than the regular thing, which is crazy because the normal game's hard. I haven't tried out the DK attack or hero modes yet, so I'll have to check those out. They have fishing and dancing minigames. That's another thing. So Funky, besides doing the funky flights, he also has a fishing game where he challenges you to collect certain fish or a certain shark or a certain object in a time limit. So that's a really cool thing, a new mini game. And then they have Candy Kong. She does now a dance studio and has to do like a DDR. You have to hit the button prompt at a certain time, which I don't know what it is. I just couldn't get that to work. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. So I'll have to look into that. They're just two little fun things. They're not needed for the game, but they're nice little additions. And then also it has Bonanza, every barrel, balloon, animal piece, and warp located. So it's great. And I love the fact it has detailed maps in this strategy guide where everything is in the secrets. Because if you guys have played these, I mean, there's a lot I remember as a kid, but there's a lot I forgot about. And then obviously not playing the Game Boy Advance version, I won't know where all the new stuff is. So this strategy guide comes in handy. Definitely recommend if you get these games and you want to go with the 101% route, get everything that's in the game, get the strategy guide for them. They will really help you out. But this game here is worth checking out and playing. If you loved it for Super Nintendo, get it for the Game Boy Advance. It's a cheap game. It's like $10, $12 here locally. Great game. Worth playing if you have a Game Boy Advance. If you have the Game Boy Advance player on your GameCube, it's fun to play. You can also, if you want to get the best version, my buddy Tom TB46667 said that he has a Game Boy Advance EverDrive cart and has the ROM in there, and it actually fixes the color issues and stuff. Of course, you could just play an emulator or something like that. So if you want to get the best picture quality, you can always go that route. But I do recommend getting the original version. Play it on your Game Boy Advance. If you have the Game Boy, play it on there because it is fun. The controls too. It does. I feel like that they fixed some of the controlling issues of the Super Nintendo, which does mean that's still controlled well. Like I have noticed no lag, no button misplex, and when I hit jump, it jumped. I haven't noticed any issues, and it feels like they have corrected some of the issues that the Super Nintendo version had in there as far as the controls go. So definitely an improvement on that. I like the music on it, and overall the game is great, and all the new additions to make it worth checking out and playing. So definitely check out Donkey Kong Country on Game Boy Advance. Great title. And now we'll get to our another one, which has also been eating up a ton of my freaking time, and that is Assassin's Creed Valhalla for Xbox One. Now this is the Ultimate Steelbook Edition, which was exclusive to GameStop, which came with the Ultimate pack plus the Season Pass, because you guys know I love open world games, and when I do love, there's a certain game I like, I like to have all the content for it. I'm someone, I don't get the vanilla version of games, and if it's a game I love, I want to support it, I'm going to get the ultimate version that has everything in it. Now unfortunately I was not able to pre-order this because I completely forgot about it. By the time I did, they were out of pre-orders, and I was kind of bummed. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll try to find it used, but when you buy used, you run into the person who used the code, and you got to buy the DLC pass separate, and they're $40 freaking dollars. And sometimes you can get them on sale, which I did, the Assassin's Creed Origins. But, I was like, I hope I can get this someday. Oh, we'll put it off. And I put it off. Well, however, I got an alert on my GameStop app I have on my phone saying, hey, we have this in restock. Do you want to get it? It's not at stores, but it's on our website. I'm like, hell yeah. Jumped on there, bought it. It was $130, but I got $30 off because I had my points. I used a $25 coupon. And then they also give you $5 a month. So $30 off was $100 for this. So $60 for the game, $40 for the Season Pass, pretty much the normal price of the game. And the Season Pass, plus you got that extra bonus content, which when you pre-order the game, you got this DLC Beowulf mission pack. That's included in the game. And I also got the Berserker pack, which is unique to the Ultimate Edition, where you get the physical Steelbook one or the digital content. So, and that comes with a Berserker Longship pack, the Berserker Gear pack, the Settlement pack, and a set of runes. So that was in there as well, which is great. There's going to be some more story DLC next year. There's a certain release date. I think it's like the spring and summertime. They have the dates on there when that new content will be available. So that's great because that's going to add to the game. And then there's also some little other exclusive things you can unlock by, I think, like it's either Amazon or something like that. Like you sign for a free trial and you can unlock content in this game. Now I do want to let people know there was an issue I ran into at the beginning is none of my Berserker content was unlocking. My Season Pass stuff wasn't unlocking, and it's because it's all tied to the Ubisoft Connect is what it's called. And I found out the same people like, I have it on my console, I downloaded it. Where the hell is it? Why isn't it showing up in my game? When do I get it? Oh, well, you do a certain mission it's supposed to unlock, and it wasn't doing it. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this thing? I went to go to connect. It wouldn't connect. It said there was an error. Well, I found out that this has to do with the Xbox One and the servers. The Ubisoft Connect that's on my Xbox One was outdated, so I had to go to the Microsoft Store, update it, turn off the console, restart the console. It finally updated and connected to their servers properly. Then when I loaded the game, it connected there, and then my content unlocked. So a lot of people are having that issue. It's a glitch with it. Of course, there has been some bugs. Some people have run into game-breaking bugs. There have already been patches on this. Of course, anytime you get big open-world games like this, you're going to have bugs and issues. And so that's usually when it's generally sometimes favorable to play some of these games a couple months after the release so that you have all the needed patches, because that's what games need these days. So that was an issue I was having with it. Just want to let you know, if you guys have that same issue and you can't get your content, it's probably because your Ubisoft Connect software on your Xbox is not working right. If it doesn't work at all, you can delete it and then re-download a fresh copy of it. And then make sure too that you re-sign into it. That was another issue, is my password got deleted on it because the app did it on its own, and so it wouldn't let me log into my account. So I had to go in, type my username, and type the new password, and it finally was synced again, and I got all my content unlocked. So everything is tied to that freaking Ubisoft Connect thing, which is kind of shitty, but again, there you go. There's your DMR control, there's your digital control that they have on games, so that in the future, if you can't connect to that server and you were to just pop this in your system, you're not gonna be able to get that digital content on there because it has to download it from the network, and it's not actually on the disc. The game is, but the extra content is not. So that's kind of disappointing, but that's the future of gaming. So I just want to let you guys know about that. Now, overall, the story, I love this. This is the Viking settings. This trying to think of the guy. I can't think of the guy's name now, but he's does the Nordic Viking music. He's been a band for years, since 2003. They're still active. He's the guy that did all the music for the Vikings TV show. Well, he helps make all the music on this game because you can hear his voice and vocals and stuff. And that guy and his band, they just do amazing Viking music. Just gets you in the mood. It'll make your beard grow. I remember when I had a long Viking beard and stuff, which I shaved it off this year. But playing this thing makes you want to have a beard, and just makes you want to make you a warrior. So the music in this game is fantastic. The voice acting in this is also amazing, done well. All the characters are voiced. They sound like they should. Like a character from England sounds like they're from England. The guy from Norway sounds like he's from Norway. There's other characters from Middle East characters, and there's other people you run into from other parts of the world, and they actually sound like they from there. So they got voice actors that actually match the part, which I do enjoy. I love when games have those little details and make it realistic. Great feature here is you can play either male or female. There's Ivor is the name of the character, male or female. You get to play as either one you want, and you can also switch at any time. You just go into the Animus thing and switch. Now I want to be a female. Now you're a female. So that's cool. You get the choice to play as either one. I like playing as the male Ivor just because that's what I wanted to play as. I wanted to be a Viking badass, and he definitely is. This also has RPG elements like the other Assassin's Creed. You can upgrade Ivor, and one of the great things that it has to do with in the heavens and the stars. And last week I mentioned by mistake, I said Greek, and it's not Greek. It's from Norway, so Viking things, but they have like Viking gods like in the stars, and different little areas there. Use your skill points to level up. Like you can do your level up stealth, you can level up light attacks, heavy attacks, blocking, dodging, all kinds of stuff to make Ivor the kind of fighter you want to be, because he fights with a shield and axe. He can dual wield axes. He can get swords. He can get maces. He also has different bows he gets. He can use bows and arrows and stuff. So there's a lot of different weapons and variety of ways to play this game. You can go stealth. You can go out, swords blazing around and hacking and tacking dudes. It's just great. The combat is done really well. You need to learn how to block attacks. You need to learn how to counter attacks at the right time, using your shield, or if you have your dual wielding axes, and to block at a certain time so you can counter with your axe. And there's a variety of axes you can unlock. I also like that you can upgrade your gear too. There's smiths around the world that you can use that can upgrade your gear and make it stronger. You also have runes that you can unlock, and those enhance like extra damage or extra stealth, things like that. Another thing I didn't mention last week, which I finally got into, is the assassin part of Assassin's Creed. So this is going more into the beginning of how the assassins were started, and they're not called the Sansons yet. They're called the Ancient Ones. So I don't want to get into too much. So I don't like to mess with story. But you actually get some of that assassins part, because these are still Assassin's Creed games, and people do want to have that part of being an assassin and part of that group and the overall narrative. Now I do want to let you guys know that, so just like the other ones, this does have that overworld where you play, where you're in the future. And this one you play as, there's a lady, I can't remember what her name is. It's not like it's that important, which I always felt, I didn't never like that aspect to the Assassin's Creed series. This like you go into this Animus machine and you're going to your DNA past of your ancestors and reliving their life. Like I was like, why can't they just have it set in this world and not go through all that in advance? Because there's an overall connecting story from the Assassin's Creed games, like all through here, with the assassins and the Templars fighting each other also in the future, and you're going in the past to help with stuff, and there's something going on with the world. So like I don't want to, like I said, I won't ruin anything with this story, but you'll play. So you'll get a couple of those parts in between playing as Ivor. So there's some of that aspect to it, which there's always in Assassin's Creed games. So that's still there. I've got like 40 hours into this game now too, and I barely scratched the surface on it. I actually did complete one of the DLCs. I did the Beowulf missions and stuff and unlocked that content, so that was fun. I'm actually working on the Berserker one right now. There are characters in here, they talk about like I just lost his name, Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons. So his sons are actually in the game. I haven't got to them yet, but they're in this. So if you watch the Vikings TV show, you're gonna hear about some of the same characters, because some of those people in that show were real. Some they made just for the show itself, like that Rolo and stuff. But there are other ones that are based off of real Viking warriors that happened at this time. So that's really cool. So the game starts off at the beginning. You're just in Norway. You have the map. You're fighting other Vikings and stuff. Basically, Ivor's family is betrayed by this rival asshole, and he betrays your clan and stuff, and so you end up getting revenge against him. And then after that, it branches out to where you decide to go to England and you want to create your own settlement there and expand your power and raid and everything. And so once you move to Europe after playing through the initial area, which is like the prologue area, the game really opens up to even more stuff. And I got a good, I think it was like 14 hours in that first Noria, because I did everything. I went through the whole map, got all the collectibles, got all the missions, all the side stuff, did everything before I left. You can go back to it, I heard. Later in the game, there's an option where you can fast travel back, take your boat back to Norway, so you can go back there if you miss anything. Because there is parts of areas in that map I didn't go to, though, because they was just like you had to have a certain power level, and every time you use a skill point, you level up like 1 power. So you start with 1, and there's some areas like 340 power, so that's 340 skill points. So that's when you're really level up. You can go back there. So that's great. So once you get to England, it just opens up so well. Of course, like previous games, there's those high viewpoints that you have to go to synchronize and unlock stuff on the map. And once you do that, you can see all the icons on there. And there's all kinds of things, like there's treasure to find, because, being a Viking, you go out raiding and battling and collecting loot and treasure to make yourself stronger, make your settlement stronger, give you resources to upgrade. That's the things you find. There's also these little mystery things where you might run into a random character who's unique or odd, and you do something and you can unlock that mystery. Sometimes they give you a prize or a weapon or something for helping complete that. There's also the main missions to go through. There's also side missions to do. So there's all kinds of unique things to run into this world. There's also assassin stuff you can do with the assassins, which is really cool, which I like that aspect to it. I'm getting in that. You actually learn stuff and unlock new moves that aren't available at the beginning. That's something I like. I don't like being the ultimate badass right at the beginning. I like fighting and battling, learning the mechanics, and then becoming a badass. And so you're not overpowered at the beginning. And it's definitely challenging. I'm playing it like on the normal setting. You can play on harder settings, and you can change the difficulty anytime. Like you start finding the game is too easy, ramp up the difficulty. You're like, man, this game's getting a little too hard. You can tone down the difficulty. So I like that they have that on the fly difficulty setting changing, which you can change. So for me, I just keep it at normal, and it works really well because we're learning how to battle. You can't just go in and just flail buttons, and because dudes will block with their shield. They'll try to get behind you, and you want to try to get around them. You got certain moves you can use and stuff. So you have to have some common sense. And playing and battling is not just hacking, pushing a whole bunch of buttons again. You have to learn how to time your attack correctly, parrying everything, countering moves, things like that. It makes it more realistic and fun. But definitely give Assassin's Creed Valhalla a try if you have not before. It has 4KR, the Ultra HDR, smart delivery. So if you have the Xbox Series X, you can play this on there, and it will upgrade you to that version, which looks even better with 4K and everything. I have it on the Xbox Series X, but I just have a 1080p TV. Even then, it still looks great. And I'm having a blast with this game, so I'm going to be definitely playing this one for quite a while. Like I said, I already got 40 hours in, and I've only been playing for 2 weeks, and I got so much more. So I know I'm going to get at least 100 hours or more out of this game. And then we add the DLC that comes out next year, and it's going to put me even more time. So I'll probably be talking about this one for a while, at least right now, because this is the one I've been playing the most. So definitely check out Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So we'll do our quick recap. I talked about Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Advance. This is a wonderful port of the Super Nintendo version. It has new content in it that was not in the Super Nintendo version. Like they added new things to collect. They added some new mini games, a fishing game, a dancing game. They actually redid the boss fights, made them more challenging, made them more fun. They added new things to them because originally they were kind of bland and boring. So this adds to it. Tons of new things to collect. And I would recommend getting the strategy I have if you want to unlock everything, because I would like to 101% this game. Wonderful game. And then we also talked about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Wonderful game in the Assassin's Creed series. Open world like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins is. Huge world. Hundreds of hours of content to keep you busy, especially if you do everything. And it is a fantastic game that I'm having a lot of fun with. Of course, I did mention there are some issues with that Ubisoft Connect, so you may have to re-download the app. re-log in your password and stuff and to make sure your content unlocks. If you have any of the bonus stuff like I do or the season pass, that could fix your issues in that. So definitely let me know your guys' thought on these two games. If you played them, what you liked about them, what you didn't like about them. I also want to hear what games you guys have been playing, and if you have a recommendation on a title you think I should check out, please let me know, because you guys always recommend really fun titles. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy, we'll see ya next time.